Hi, welcome to Ocean Yummy channel. So today I am going to talk about Kendrick Johnson's case. Now, it seems like I'll say there still is a huge cover up on the case because there's loads of stuff that does not make, there's a lot of missing evidence, a lot of um missing evidence, including the video. That's why I put up the video to when the guy who investigated the video said that how um said that how that there are minutes or seems to be hours of video that is missing from the CCTV, which happened to be a censored a censored video. Like as soon as you pass, it's like those lights when you pass somewhere, the lights turned on. It seems like how there is a lot of missing stuff within the case, and I'm hoping that the parents is still pursuing this because there's no way that this boy died the way they said he sorry, that he was unalive, the way they said he passed. And it's quite sad that they haven't got the justice that is due to them. To me, there is a lot of um twists and turns in it. Not only that, an email was supposed to be a confessional email, supposedly, which I doubt. I really feel it was over a fight, that's what happened, and it's just to show a brawn. Males show their brawn, like, in certain ways, and I don't feel it was to do over a girl, because what the email was saying basically was over a girlfriend or something like that. Basically, I don't think it's nothing to do with that. I feel there's a lot more to this that meets the eye. And not only that, the fact that how the body was stuffed with newspapers, which is even more condemning to how they dealt with the teenager's body as well, taking out his organs, um, making up, which seems to be stories that how there was something wrong with the organs when he seemed like he was a perfectly healthy young man, athletic young man. You know what I'm saying? He must have done a little bit of football as well. Not only that, I will say the guy who he had a fight with was a whole jock. He was a footballer, and on the CCTV, you literally see like there's seems like it looks like a gang of boys standing outside the gym as Kendrick entered the gym. On top of that, they're saying that how he might have reached into the mat to go and retrieve his shoes and he got lodged in it. That's a load of BS as well. So there is a whole heap of cover up, and it's not just me alone that see this. It seems like a lot of others have noticed this in the case. Um, they they said that there's a lawsuit that is out right, I think this year, for this case, and the parents is bringing it forward again. There is a documentary called Finding Kendrick Johnson, and you'll hear like that little clip where I took of the boy explaining what happened on the bus was from the documentary itself. And also the boy who he fought with is on the documentary as well. And it's like what I said, not only that, the way how his face was bloated on as well. Like I said, there's something out of an Emmett Till case. The way how his face was bloated, where they said all the blood had rushed to his face. Now I'm gonna play this CNN I think it's a CNN, where they said that how an email sparked questions. Hold on, let me put on my thing so it can play louder. Because
sparks questions about Kendrick Johnson case. Published by News4JAX. Sheriff's Office. Anonymous email sent 2 months ago. Valdosta, Georgia. The Lowndes County Sheriff's Office told Channel 4 Thursday they received an anonymous email almost 2 months ago that they turned over to federal authorities. The Sheriff's Office said there's really nothing to the anonymous email, but the document is raising questions again about how 17-year-old Kendrick Johnson died. There are still a lot of questions and speculation in the Valdosta community. Questions about how Johnson died and whether his death was accidental or at the hands of someone else. The sheriff's office said Johnson's death was an accident, but a second autopsy the Johnson family paid for concluded that Kendrick's death was non-accidental, blunt force trauma, fueling various opinions within the community. The anonymous email that was handed over to federal investigators is also sparking more talk about the case. Related, Kendrick Johnson death claim probed. He was not murdered. I don't believe that, said Floyd Rose. If that were my child, I would want some answers, and this is not going to end, said Gregory Murray. Lieutenant Stride Jones with the Lowndes Sheriff's Office told Channel 4 that they've questioned 7 teenagers in connection with the email, including the sender. We conducted an interview with the sender yesterday, as well as additional people, and what we have found out that none of these people know anything firsthand. They have done is picked up on various rumors that have been dispersed through the community, said Jones. A particular person felt that it was important to make sure that at least law enforcement was aware of this information, and that was her reason for sending the tip. There's no malicious intent on her part. She just wanted to make sure the information was passed on to law enforcement. Jones said Johnson's case is still closed until they get credible information that makes them change their position. Emily's attorney told Channel 4 they will be happy to react to this anonymous email once they are able to get a copy of it. The U.S. Attorney's Office is still investigating the circumstances surrounding this case and has subpoenaed evidence. The Sheriff's Office gave them a copy of the anonymous email. There will be a rally next month in Macon, Georgia, at the federal courthouse. Pastors and civil rights groups will be there demanding justice. Email sparks questions about Kendrick Johnson case.
And they do need to be doing something about it, because right now he's not getting no justice for what happened to him. Now the email, let me see if I could find a clear fix of the email. Let me see if they got a clear one of the email. See, they got it. No, Brian Bell. Brian Bell sent some email, seems like, what this is saying. So there's still a cover-up. There's still a cover-up. That anonymous email. Oh, I can't even find it. Oh yeah, here it is.
Now, WJCL News, working for you.
New developments in the Kendrick Johnson death investigation. We have uncovered an email whose sender claims to know who killed Johnson. Good evening to you. I'm Jennifer Andrews. Kevin has the night off. Well, Larry Sproul has been pouring through documents that we requested from the sheriff's office. We turn now to Larry for the very latest. Larry, what have you learned?
Well, Jennifer, we all know that this story has gained national attention in more than a year now. And tonight I have been looking through these 22 pages that we requested that could possibly answer the question, what happened to Kendrick Johnson? For the second time in 1 week, new details were released in Kendrick Johnson's death. 17-year-old Kendrick Johnson's body was found inside the old gym at Lowndes High School in Valdosta, Georgia on January 10th, 2013. Lowndes County deputies found Johnson's body rolled inside of a gym mat and later ruled his death an accident.
The Johnson family got to watch their son get ready for school January 10th, 2013. And what's been coined now is that he left, as many students do, wearing a book bag. The next morning, January 11th, he was wheeled out of the gymnasium in a body bag.
Kendrick's parents requested their own autopsy, which came back with different results. Blunt force trauma to the head as the cause of death. This week, WJCL learned U.S. Attorney Michael Moore subpoenaed more than 120 students and parents in Valdosta to testify in front of a grand jury. What happened to Kendrick last January is a question the family has been asking for more than a year now. And this week, that question may have an answer. WJCL learned deputies in Lowndes County received an anonymous email. We asked for that correspondence, which was granted to WJCL. Because those mentioned in the email are minors, their names have been changed to Jane and Joe. Here's what the email says, quote, "My best friend was at a party Saturday night with Jane, and she was upset about something that Joe had said to her. And my best friend started talking, and by the end of the night, Jane had told my friend everything that the whole nation has been wondering for the past year. She told my friend what really happened to Kendrick Johnson. She said that about a little over a year ago, she had sexual intercourse with Kendrick Johnson while she was dating Joe. Joe found out and threatened KJ. KJ told Joe to meet him in the old gym at the third block and he would have his knife ready. Joe and Joe's friend met KJ and killed him. Joe has also been heard admitting to killing KJ more than once over the phone. His brother also got drunk at a party on the 4th of July and told many people that Joe killed KJ and that Joe's brother was tired of keeping it a secret." End quote. But in these documents, Jane denied any relationship with Johnson. She told investigators she knew Kendrick, but did not talk to him, but was aware of rumors that she lured Johnson into the gym. We took a deeper look into the 22-page report and found out Joe met Kendrick while playing football. Joe admitted to getting into an altercation with Johnson on the bus after a football game before, but did not know about the relationship between Johnson and his friend. Towards the end of the report, Joe told investigators he heard rumors of Johnson being assaulted because of an alleged relationship. And my sources told me one of the boys in the email is the son of an FBI agent. His father originally told him not to talk to investigators, but is now forced to talk because of the subpoena. Now, Lowndes.
So, see, the FBI agent father told the boy not to talk to the agents about what had happened, which still shows it's a cover up because FBI agents got leverage, and he's probably moved around a couple stuff to make it look like a couple stuff. This email, however, doesn't mean that it is what it is, that it is what it says. And to me, it means that there is. Hold on, let me put him back up. It doesn't mean what it is because anybody can fake an email and say whatever, because basically it's to take the smell off of what's going on, to take the investigators off of the case at hand. And I really feel that how Brian Bell's dad is very much involved, because one of my subscribers spoke about the cover up, and it seems like it's a huge cover up, because it's not like I'm not the only, like I said, I'm not the only CC who's picked up on this. Other CCs has picked up on it as well. I was gonna find the one where there's also, let me go back to this. There's also, like I said, the tongue, I think he bit his tongue. Oh, did it wrong. He bit his tongue as well, Kendrick. Hold on, here it is. I think he bit his tongue.
And finally,
oh, boy.
In Africa, a Chinese supermarket has been accused of racism against
I keep
locals
pressing.
in
See, when I want to do certain ones, the other news will turn up. Okay, here we go.
You may cry sometimes. You may.
Well, it's got songs on it. Hold on. So there's something about the tongue that he bit it or something. Oh, there's another thing. Hold up. Let me see what this one's about. So, the newly released photo of Kendrick Johnson's left hand further illustrates the scientific impossibility of his death being a result of freak accident, as claimed by Lourdes County Sheriff Chris Pine. One theory is the flesh wounds to Johnson's hand could be defensive in nature and appear to be in the shape of fingernails. A second theory focuses on the swelling around the joints. They are along both the proximal, the fingers, basically his fingers consist of the shape of fingernails. Like, so had Kendrick fingers been in some form of combat or martial arts hold, his attacker's fingernails would be in position to make like the marks, when you pinch somebody and stick your hand into somebody's skin. On Kendrick's hand, one thing is for certain: these injuries are not consistent with someone trying to claw their way out of a gym bag, out of a gym mat, stuck upside down. Okay, so I'm going to show you the picture to see it, so you can see what they're talking about. Hold on, let me take this off. Let me take this one off. See, they're saying that the way how his hand is, that how it was, that they are defense wounds, and he tried to defend himself. So these are defensive wounds. The one I'm trying to get to is the one about the tongue thing. Okay, let's see what they say. It doesn't say nothing on that one. I saw it yesterday. Oh, they see some hard drive as well. Oh, they took hard drives. And they exhumed. Oh yeah, we talked about exhuming of the body. Okay, we spoke about that. We spoke about the autopsy. The position of the mat, which did not make sense. Somebody else's blood on the shoe. There's something else. Brian Bell was the boy that they said was the one that Kendrick got into, had a fight with previously. Let me find the video so you can see him more better. Yeah, got it. Go.
Now, a Channel 2 Action News investigation into the mystery surrounding the death of a Valdosta teenager found in an upright gym mat at school. Two young men at the focus of the Kendrick Johnson controversy have declined to talk to investigators, a grand jury, and
they declined
until now. Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark
That's
Winning,
because the dad told him not to talk
in DeKalb County with these exclusive interviews. Mark.
And at last check, this case remained a focus of federal investigation. But we are outside the FBI's Atlanta field office because that is where we're told Agent Rick Bell was assigned, and both his sons are the subject of target letters from a federal prosecutor. And now we hear from them at last.
I'm going to ask my photographer to push in tight on your face. Okay. Our viewers can read your expression. Did you have anything to do with the death of Kendrick Johnson?
But he's not going to admit to it, is he?
He's like one of my good friends.
Even at the time of his death?
Even at the time of his death.
You know, every word we broadcast of this is going to be scrutinized by the blogosphere, the Twitter sphere, and so on.
Yes, sir. It should be. And I want everybody to know the truth. And I mean, they can ridicule me and they can say whatever they want, but in the end, the truth will prevail. And everybody will find that me and my brother have been innocent and always will be innocent.
We've just heard what family attorneys acknowledge. Sheriff's deputies, the GBI, and a federal grand jury have not heard. Brothers Brian and Brandon Bell answering questions, no holds barred, about the mysterious death of Kendrick Johnson in 2013.
He was the laughter of our house. He was the joy of our house. And he gives us strength to keep fighting.
The Lowndes County Sheriff says after a thorough investigation, his office agrees with the state medical examiner that Johnson's death was an accident due to positional asphyxia, that he wedged himself in a rolled-up gym mat trying to reach a shoe and could not get out.
Now you know that's rubbish. Come on now.
Are you more convinced today than ever that KJ was the victim of foul play?
Yes.
And with some of what the Bells say.
No, they weren't friends.
And in a lawsuit, Johnson's parents allege a group, including the Bell brothers, sons of an FBI agent, violently assaulted their son, leading to his death.
None of the allegations that were made were without research.
But both Bells maintain they have rock-solid alibis.
Did you see Kendrick Johnson?
No, sir, not at any point during that day.
Where were you?
I was in class. First block, second block, third block, and fourth block.
Yet there's blood. Yet there is him walking through the hallway with a blood-stained top, like rushing down the hallway. So that's a lie.
Close to the gym?
No,
Did you see Kendrick that day?
no. I did not.
The suit suggests the brothers sought revenge for a brief fight between Brian and Kendrick on a team bus.
Exactly.
before,
Same thing what the boy
we were
said.
still friends.
Anyway.
So I can't even remember. I mean, it was so small.
And that even confirms what that guy said on the video I did yesterday. Well, yeah, the video I did yesterday.
To us, like, it was.
You aren't
It was
over no
ridiculous.
girl.
Your brother had a football scholarship offered to FSU.
Yes, sir, he did
They pulled it back.
on signing day.
So how low did you get?
To the lowest you can go.
Letters from the Macon U.S. Attorney's Office suggest both Bells are targets of grand jury investigation. The letters suggest possible civil rights violations.
My objective is to only get justice for my son.
Have you prayed for the Johnsons?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I have.
don't
I hope that
lie.
they found justice, and I hope that they do find out the truth about their son.
Don't
I
lie.
pray for the truth to come out about what happened to my son.
Now, there's lots more. These interviews were extensive. No lawyers present, no parents present. We plan to have a lot of all new excerpts coming up on Channel 2 Action News at.
See this newscaster is ridiculous because he's saying, oh, there was no lawyers and whatever. Obviously they had to have rehearsed, obviously, because they have to make sure the story is on point. Hold on, let me see if I found the tongue situation.
16.
Still didn't find the tongue situation. Okay, we ain't found the tongue situation. But the tongue was bruised as well. So this is very much, like I said before, it's a big time cover up, very big time. This young man needs justice. Please sign the petition that is on the community tab, because it's one of those ones where like some person, well, he's a jock, really. He's a jock. Hold on, I'm trying to find the other ones as well. It's not coming out.
Hi, Crime Junkies. I'm your host, Ashley Flowers. And I'm Britt. And I wanted to give you all a friendly reminder. Make sure, wherever you're listening to us, that you hit.
Hi, Medusa. I'm trying to find the what am I trying to find? Right now, these are just people talking about it, but it's not the same. But there is a whole cover up. Hold on, I'm gonna find the people who I saw yesterday, because even they clocked it was a bit iffy. Let me see if I could find it. Oh, I saw it yesterday. So quite a few people. Something is definitely a miss on this one. Oh, here we go. So it's a bit loud.
Issues with the police investigation, so we are going to try to be fair. We're going to go through it. The first part, we're going to talk about the evidence and the initial investigation, and then we'll go from there. And in the next part, we'll be more focused on the Johnsons, Kendrick's mother and father, and the groups that they, came together with them to find justice for Kendrick. And we'll go over kind of that timeline. So just hang in with us. I promise it will be worth it. We're going to go very in depth, but I think that
they keep calling it an accident. It's not an accident. It's literally a murder. It's so obvious. They keep calling it an accident.
Case really deserves it.
I agree. I remember the first time I heard about this case, I was actually on location filming Breaking Homicide. And in a lot of these shows, you'll have like locals from the area who are become part of the production crew, the individuals who have an expertise that from that area. And I had so that was definitely a comment meant to indicate that he was someone that if he tackled you, you knew it.
Yeah, and he was very strong. You can tell just looking at his pictures. This is somebody who took care of himself, probably did a lot of working out.
Which is what I said yesterday. He looked very athletic. There's no way he got himself stuck inside of that mat. There's no way. I mean, the hole itself the size of it doesn't even make sense. Like, it's ridiculous. But listen, now she's describing Kendrick. They're describing Kendrick and how athletic he is.
Kept his body in peak physical performance because he was this, multi-season athlete. So, which also brings a lot of questions into how he ended up dying, because many people wondered, how does a young, strong man like this end up, stuck in a gym mat?
Yeah, we're going to dive into it for sure, because those are reasonable questions to ask. You would think someone of that physical shape would be able to get themselves out of that situation if it was the way some people think it is, as far as what happened to him.
Well, at this point, Jackie obviously can't sleep. Her son's not home. Her husband's out of town. So she has her mother come over and they sit together all night, just worried about Kendrick. And around 4 a.m., she gets a call from the police and they let her know, hey, we got the missing persons report. We're out looking for your son. And I mean, to be honest, I'm sure she didn't sleep much, if at all, that night. And by 8:30 in the morning, Jackie was up and she was headed to the high school. Now, Jackie actually drove school buses for this school that I think the Lowndes County School District in general. She drove school buses. That was her job. And normally in the morning, she would drive to the school, and she would bring Kendrick with her, and that's how he would get to school every morning. But this morning she drove there alone without her son. She didn't know where her son was, and she wanted answers. So she gets to the school around 8:30 a.m. And 30 minutes prior to this, reporting officer Michael Adams had arrived at the high school, and he was following up on the missing persons report. So obviously he's going to go to school, and he wants to see if Kendrick was the last time the people at the school saw Kendrick, and he asked the secretary to contact KJ's teacher, Bobby Wilson, to see if KJ was in class, and Wilson reported back that he was not. So Kendrick should have been in a class that morning. He wasn't. And at this point, the police officer realized that he wasn't in school at all. Now, when Jackie Johnson arrived at the school, she asked at the main office if anyone had seen her son, and it's reported differently. So in the police reports, it says that she went to the principal's office. In the media, it says she was brought to a counselor's office, a guidance counselor's office. I'm not sure it really matters, but there is discrepancies there. And I will say that there's a lot of discrepancies between what's reported in the police reports and what's reported in the media.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a pretty common occurrence, right? I mean, that's fair to say.
I think you're right, not to this extent. I've never really seen a case where so many details are accurate, and then that makes you wonder.
And distorted at the
who's
same time.
right? You know, obviously we want to think the police reports are right because they were on the scene, but now you have this point of contention, which is that Kendrick's parents inevitably end up thinking that the police department and the school and everyone is involved in this cover-up of their son's death. So then that does have you questioning what was written in the police report, obviously.
I can only speak from my personal experience, and I can tell you numerous times as a supervisor, you know, I would give very limited information to the media when they would inquire about a certain case we were working. However, even though we were the only funnel out that information, when they reported it, they always had anonymous sources that had all this other information. And again, just my perspective as a cop, take it with what, you know, however you want to take it. Most of the time I'd be sitting there watching the episode as they're talking about it on the news, and sitting there looking at my guys like completely inaccurate. We haven't said that to anyone. We haven't confirmed. Where did they get this from? If they have this information, we'd love to speak to that source, because this is the first time we're hearing of it. That's just from my perspective. But again, there's a lot more layers to this story ultimately that you're going to talk about. And so I see why it's a point that we have to bring up now, because it's going to be very important later.
Correct. Yes. And I don't want to go into this making anybody think that we're blindly believing one side or the other. We're really looking at this with fresh eyes. Neither one of us have dug too deeply into it before. Like you said, you looked it over. I've looked it over, but we've never really dug in. So this is the first time that we're really getting into it, and we're going to be as fair and unbiased as possible. So Jackie's in either the principal's office or the guidance counselor's office. And while this is happening, Michael Adams, he's still at the school. He's the responding police officer for the missing persons report. And he starts like printing pictures of KJ. And then the principal secretary told him as he was doing this that Jackie was at the school and she was in the office. So he goes to talk to her. And at this point, you know, he's probably asking her, who would your son be with? Like, who are his friends? And Jackie tells him, you know, he doesn't have any girlfriends, no serious girlfriends. He does have like a best friend that he hangs out with in school. And so she gave the nick.
And that's why that email is BS. See now? He had no girlfriends. It's BS. Big time.
Of this friend to Adams, and Adams called the dispatcher and was like, hey, you know, can you send an officer over to this person's house, check if they've seen KJ, if KJ's there. And then that's when Officer Adams found out that this friend of KJ's had been suspended, so he wasn't at school, and that's why he had to send a police officer to his house. But this friend hadn't seen or heard from KJ either.
Yeah, not good. But I'm glad to see where their head's at that point. They're going to the closest, you know, friends to them that they know of. And we just talked about taking the report and how the dispatcher, you know, was a little apprehensive, or maybe even trying to deter Jackie from filing it, which we both don't like. But I do like to see that this guy was out there 4 o'clock in the morning starting, and then first thing in the morning, without even knowing that Jackie was on the premise, he was at the school printing out colored photos. And that's important, because the first 24 to 48 hours of a missing person case are critical So I love to see the fact and hear the fact that he was there bright and early, trying to do something, and making those calls and asking those questions and sending people over to the known associate's house. So far, I like what I'm hearing so far as how the investigation, as far as this being a missing persons, was conducted.
Yeah, up to this point, it seems like they're taking it very seriously. And Adams wasn't the only one on it, because as this all was happening, 2 other police officers, Detective Pretty and Detective Marion, were also driving to the school. They were also following up on the missing persons report. But that's when they heard over their radio that a student had been found unresponsive in the old gym. So Lowndes High School has 2 gyms. One's called the new gym. The other is called the old gym. Not very creative names, but they seem to work. Right? Like,
let's hope the newer gym is called new gym. Let's just.
Yeah, that's what yeah, he said he's an ex. That's why when they're saying it's a tragic accident, right? When I looked at it yesterday, it definitely wasn't a tragic accident. You can tell it wasn't a tragic accident. It's the position of the body, position of the mat, right? The reason why I'm playing them, because the fact that they called it a cover up, right? But it's obvious it's a cover up by Brian Bell's father, because the dad said to him, don't give interviews, and he gave an interview anyway. Right, Kendrick was filed as a missing person, right, which is the part that they're explaining now, right? So he was filed as a missing person, right? So the mother who drives the school bus. She went down to find out what had happened, and then that's when they started printing out the missing pictures of him. Now, certainly, they are trying to cover their tracks. It's obvious they're trying to cover their tracks. Even in the video, even when the video that I put up of the missing evidence shows, it was pretty obvious that even the school is in on it. The school's in on it. The police is in on it. The whoever else is in on it. Like you said, everybody's all in cahoots with each other. Yeah, so it's sounding like his perspective is probably slightly, yeah. Oh no, the guy talking on the broadcast discussion is a cop or ex-cop. Yeah, he said he was an ex-cop, so he's certainly taking sides with the other side. Yes, he is, because though they titled it the title. The reason, like I said, I'm playing it to hear their point of view. Hi, Medusa. Yeah, the crime that they committed. Yes, obvious. The crimes that they committed and also covered up against the innocent child is horrendous. Yes, it is horrendous. His face was bloated. You see his face, how bloated his look. See this pretty face that's on the screen. That face was bloated. Some of his looks was pulled out. His face is just a sweet looking baby. Shame on those monsters. Yes. What are your thoughts on the 2 panel speakers' opinion statements? Are they from the same state? I'm not sure. I was actually going to find out because I'm just now listening to it right now. That's why when they're calling it a tragic accident, it's not a tragic accident. It's literally a murder. Basically, that's what it is. Because the positioning of the body. So because they haven't gotten to the part, and this is only part 1. Now, when I did it yesterday, I was able to cover the autopsy, the Brian Bell interview. There was an interview that Brian Bell did for the documentary. There's the father involvement in it, the fight, what they had on the bus, when the father said to Brian Bell said to Kendrick that how they should have another fight. Now, on top of that, right? Not only is he saying to him to come to where Brian Bell was living to go and have this fight, right? So it could have been an ambush at the gym because if you look on the video, you literally see like Kendrick running from he's walking. First he walks in and then you see him running the next direction. So either he was running from something, possibly, right? They beat him up, probably choked, hold him to death, and wrapped him up in the mat exactly, and went home and told their dad, sheriff buddies, that they proceeded to destroy evidence. Yes, exactly. First hospital, school, prison, law. What's that, Dawn? I don't know what that is. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They proceeded to hide the evidence because hold on. I have to highlight everybody. They hide evidence. On top of that, right? On top of that, the organs went missing from the body, right? The organs is missing from the body. They stuffed his body with paper, right? So Brian spoke to his dad, and he said that how not Brian, Kendrick spoke to his dad and said that Brian was looking at him funny and being weird with him and stuff like that. And he couldn't understand what was going on because it's like they've been in college together probably, and it's all been normal, and then all of a sudden it switched, it changed. But it's obvious that Brian Bell is some kind of jock because the brother Brandon said that what happened is that whatever he was meant to get to become the football star fell through because of the case. So they're covering it's like the whole big covering, and that's why the parents should still put in for the lawsuit now, even now. Though it's been 10 years, well, it's 10 years, it could even be longer. They should still put in for a lawsuit now because they have rights to find out what happened to their son. This guy, I don't know. They haven't even gotten to the heart of the video, right? Because I was going to use my own research, what I found. But sometimes it's always good to hear what the other side say. Because, people might say, oh, yeah, but yeah, you're biased. No, it's not about being biased. I'm just going by the pictures, the way the body's positioned, the blood on the shoes, the blood on the walls, the people involved. And it could have been a few people involved at that, apart from Brandon and Brian. Then this mysterious email turns up saying that it's because of a girlfriend or something, why the email turned up and all this stuff. And that's what the news was looking into, because they're saying that the email don't make sense, right? Because they're saying that KJ had a girlfriend. The mum said KJ never had a girlfriend. So it's like like you said, a whole big cover up. It's a big cover up. This is what's going on. And that's why the petition needs to be signed. There's reopening of the case, of the petition that needs to be signed so that they can get this sorted, because it's still an open case. It's not closed. It's not closed at all. Sorry. I just drank some thingy and it's just playing on me. Right, so I'm gonna look at my work because they haven't updated the thing. Not really. Right, they said the suspects was the death of the promising 17-year-old athlete in Lourdes County High School sparked racial debate. So it could be a racially thing, which it possibly is. The victim, Kendrick Johnson, was black in ethnicity. Whereabouts the accused suspect, Brandon and Brian, are white. But I'm sure there was a lot of racial this thing going on, because the boy he could not understand why the boy was fighting him. Hold on, I'm trying to find the other thing. He couldn't find out why the boy was fighting him. And the video is so telling, because every time I look into it, I see the same video of him walking across the gym in the opposite direction. He walks one direction, then he walks another direction. I'm trying to find the update on it. No, they only done up to 2023. There's been no more updates. Oh yeah, on January 2024. That's when the parents put in amendment complaint for $2.5 billion complaint. Right? So, it's just too obvious. That is just 2.2 what did I say? 2.5 billion lawsuit. Oh, the petition's on the thingy on the community tab. So let me see what you're saying. Wicked, crooked towns still all over the world. Evil towns and cities. Yeah, because they will cover up. Previous comment. If the cover up is church section, all the rest follow suit. Yeah. Yeah, they will follow suit. Because especially if it's a small town, right? It's a small town and everybody knows that guy, Mr. Bell, right? It'll be covered up to the nines. And like the fact that they're saying that he fell into the mat while retrieving his shoes. I believe what he would have done to get that shoes, he would have pushed it over, because apparently all the students hide their shoes in that same mat. All the students hide their shoes in that same mat, and or he would have pushed it over, or they put it in a place such a way so they can reach it. So, like I said, the only conclusion I come to, which is what I said yesterday, is that how they picked him up and they put him into the mat, and one of the hand must have dropped down, and that's why the hand was hanging down, and one of the hand was lodged the other direction. Plus the shoes, where the shoes is on his leg, doesn't make no sense, because the shoes would have gone another, wouldn't be so neatly near his leg in the mat. Yeah, first, second, fourth, fifth generation of monster families. Yes. Okay, Dawn, done. Dawn. Yeah, so yeah. The way the shoes is placed near his leg, that alone, right, it would have not have dropped in that way if it had been an accident. It's obviously a misdemeanor going on. It's a misdemeanor is the word I'm looking for. It's a misdemeanor. It's a murder. It's serious. And the parents must have filed this in January. They said they filed it in January 2024. Oh, so this one says it's been 11 years after Johnson was found deceased inside of a Londis High School in Londis County Board of Education. Londis Regional Crime Lab have been served with lawsuit from Kendrick's parents. The case has been closed since 2022, when the sheriff office ruled Johnson's death an accident. The Johnsons has also believed that their son was unalived. The complaint against the Londis County Board of Education states conspiracy violating Code 221185 school safety plans, drills, which moderates that every public school shall prepare a school safety plan to help curb the growing indifferences of violence in school to respond properly, effectively to such incidences. The parents of Kendrick Johnson commented on this complaint, stating the evidence is overwhelming and speaks volumes. And why isn't Sheriff Pollock in handcuffs and leg irons? Why isn't Dr. Keft in prison for accessory to murder after the fact and perjury? So, yeah. So WALB reached out to Londis County Board of Education and Londis Regional Crime Lab, but they said since the matter is active and legal, they are not able to comment. And that's what they said. So this was January. So they put in a lawsuit on January 2024. That's could be this year. They put in the lawsuit. Let me see if there's another one. Let me see if there's another one. There's one on the 2022 23. They put in another lawsuit. Oh, this could be the same lawsuit. Could be the same lawsuit. They call it a freak accident. See, even what the papers, even what the media is saying is ridiculous. They call it a freak accident or cover-up. So the family sues decade after Georgia teen found unalive in a gym mat. So parents of Georgia teenager who officials said was found unalive in a wrestling mat have long said that their son was murdered. Now, about 10 years later, they're filing a $1 billion federal lawsuit against the local sheriff. So this was in 23. Lawsuit against the local sheriff office states and investigators for naming the cause of the teen's death as an accident. In 2013, 17-year-old Johnson was once again, they talk about him being found in the gym mat. So the local state investigator said his unalive was asphyxiation. When he went to grab tennis shoes from the top of the mat, they said the top of the mat. An investigation by the U.S. Department of Justice, also closed in 2016, was federal investigation found insufficient evidence to support the federal criminal charges, according to the DOJ news released at the time. The case was reopened in 2021 by the Londis County Sheriff Office when 17 boxes of documents was on seal following a federal investigation. McCarthy News previously reported the Sheriff's Office would later rule the death to be an accident again. It is painful and hurtful. It's a shame that we have been having to fight for 10 and a half long years and nobody seems to care about Kendrick Jackie Johnson. Kendrick's mother told a group of reporters outside the federal building in Atlanta on Tuesday, September 19, according to the video. The teen's parents, Kenneth Johnson and Jackie Johnson, have filed several lawsuits in the past. They had previously said Kendrick was murdered by two white classmates. McCartney reported Kendrick was black. So it's a racial thing. Okay. The family also appeared in 2021. That's a documentary that is now out now. Finding Kendrick Johnson, the investigates the team's unaliving, according to McCartney News. As I always tell them, they unalived the wrong child, but they got the right parents. Jackie Johnson said WALB video. Because we are going to continue to keep fighting for Kendrick, Johnson's family is asking for $1 billion in damages and stuff, regarding their lawsuit calls a deprivation of rights, and conspiracy to interfere with the rights. The lawsuit also requests the jury trial for the federal case. The lawsuit is filed against the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office and the Georgia Bureau, which both played major roles in the investigation. The nature of Kendrick's death. Both agencies are said to have conspired together to cover up how Kendrick died, according to the lawsuit. The family says they are different inconsistencies in the investigation, according to the lawsuit. Hold on, there's more. In the lawsuit, the name of Kendrick's death as accidental called a masquerade of an investigation. A facade of a masquerade of an investigation, and a physical impossible narrative. The GBI Medical Examiner's Office conducted a thorough autopsy on this case. The case is closed, and we stand behind our original findings. So so basically, they're trying to say to the family that they're wrong in filing the lawsuit. So there's been complaints listed in the lawsuit. One of the first to be named is the Sheriff's Office, the GBI denial of giving Kendrick parents their right to a timely and accurate death certificate for their son. The lawsuit also cites the finding of the independent forensic expert who said Kendrick died of blunt force injuries. So there's the background. Oh, hold on. Background on the case is also described in the lawsuit, where the teen, who is referred as KJ in the lawsuit, was found in the gym in a pool of blood, according to the lawsuit. He also had cuts on his face and hands, because that means he was trying to fight back. While the funeral arrangements was made for Kendrick, his brain and organs was missing from the body following his autopsy, and caused concern, says in the lawsuit. See, it's a lot. Let me see. The lawsuit says both agencies invented and fabricated material false narrative as part of a cover-up. As a result of Kendrick's parents experienced damage to their public reputation, physical, mental well-being, according to the lawsuit, as well racial bigoted and harassment. I'm not going to read no more. The type of families are home bred on corruptions and cover-up. Yes, and that's what's going on. That's what that whole article was about. Families like that won't even break those generational chains of prejudice and bias attitudes, the ways of life. I dare say it was the father's idea to begin to teach him a lesson for the bus. Yes, Dawn. Yes, it was because of the bus incident. Remember, the boys fought on the bus. And the father's words to Brian or Kendrick, is that how I like to say, like, it's right to say that, what, like, you have to have a rematch or some foolishness like that, right? And Kendrick had to come to Brian Bell's house to have this rematch. So because Kendrick was stronger than him on the bus, and he fought him, and he probably won in the process, right? They wanted a rematch because Brian Bell is this, like, once again, he's a jock. He's an American football player and all that goes with it. Keeping up appearances, all that. So what are your opinions on the missing organs? The missing organs, they took them out probably to hide what really went on, and also they could have taken it out to go and test on it. They could have taken it out, they organ harvest. That's another thing. There's a whole heap of stuff going on. Oh wow, I never knew about prior incidents. Shake my head. You guys, yes, they had a fight before this. If you look at, I think you lot get it on your side. I think I get it over here too, but I got to pay for it. If you look for Finding Kendrick Johnson, they explain it on the documentary, the little bit that I see of it. Let me see if I can find it. Finding Kendrick Johnson. Hold on, I don't think I got it over here. I don't think we got it over here. This documentary is called Finding Kendrick Johnson. And in there, right, the friend talks about how there was a big massive fight on the bus. And the father talks about like when the evils Brian Bell was giving Kendrick before the incident. So I think Kendrick also bit his tongue, but I can't find the article that I found yesterday that dealt with that side of things. And he also had grazes on his knuckles, defensive wound on his hand. Is blunt force trauma to the chest and the neck. So he either was hit with something very hard, and he must have fell or dropped, and then they stuck him into the mat. And that's what I said yesterday. Right, but my question: how did they explain away about a child having missing? They said that how the organs was damaged or something, and that how they took out all his organs, his brain, his heart, his lungs. They took out most of his organs, most of it, and stuffed it with newspaper and other material. So I will play it again, but I already played it yesterday in the first one. So you have to listen to part one of this video from yesterday to hear how they stuffed his body with paper. And the parents exhumed him 3 times to find out the cause of how he passed. So I'm gonna leave it at here right now. I might have to come back, and I might find something else, and I might come back. Because the email one threw me, because they said it's something that they were fighting over a girlfriend. That's pretty obvious that wasn't so, because Kendrick didn't have a girlfriend. He didn't have a girlfriend, because even the mum said it. Because I'm sure Kendrick would have introduced the girlfriend to the mother and the father. Yeah, diabolical. They made money off of his organs. Yeah, because it was either organ harvesting, something else they did with it, testing, sent it to medical science, something. They did something with them organs, and saying that how it was damaged. He's an athletic boy. He's healthy. He's only 17. He hasn't even lived yet. So it's like they took away his healthy organs out of his body. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stop here, and I would, if I find anything else on it, there is a petition on the community wall. Go past all the Jazzy Life and everything. You'll find the reopening of the case petition. Please fill it out. There's 2 actually. There's 2 petitions. There's one from before, and then the one where they're trying to reopen the case. Yeah, I read about stuff in the body and stealing the organs. Yeah, they don't need to usually. External investigations are usually for far more, though they are internal, especially in the event of a cover-up. Yes, exactly. So if you want me to talk about any cases or anything, you can email, you can go to my Instagram, and you can contact me, and then I'll get on it. Like, so because this was the couple times this one has come up, and somebody asked me to cover it, and when I look through it now, I see there's a whole heap of BS behind it. There's a whole heap of BS. I don't know whether most of the states is racist anyway. Most of the states, it's like England. Over here, they're racist. There's racism, and I feel that because he was a strong black boy, And I know people hate it when you bring up race and blah blah blah, because he was a strong black boy and he defeated the white boy in a fight. This is what it occurred to, okay? Him being unalive. So if there's any more follow-ups and stuff, I'll put on the community wall. If they put out any more petitions, I'll put it on the community wall. Please sign the petitions. Petitions do actually work, because I have actually put up petitions, not me personally, but I have reposted petitions for CPS cases and other stuff. And they do actually work, because when the people come out and they talk about it and they talk about what happened and how they got the justice for the children, it works. So please keep that in mind. I've got something you might enjoy reading, but it explains the background of all things like this. Okay, just don't be spamming up my email though, 'cause I don't like that. But yeah, if people sees anything that they want me to go over, because sometimes is could be the simplest thing. This one was very quite straightforward as well, because all the evidence is quite telling. It's very damning. It's very damning. The link, I can't see the link. It's very damning, the evidence. So, hold on. Can't see the link. It's quite damning. Hold up. It's quite damning. Oh, I didn't even mod Medusa. Sorry, Medusa. I don't mean mod girl. No, you put your jacket on as them Kenyans will say. Oh, okay, you're gonna email me. Okay. Right, so this is very much straightforward. So I've modded Medusa and Dawn. Okay. I know I got a mod a few other people, but I haven't seen them today. So and I did get rid of the ones who were spamming my chat yesterday, and they're not allowed over here. So with that said, I'm going to leave it at that, and I will get back to, if I see anything else about this case, I will talk about it, because there's many cases like this where there's huge huge cover-ups, and it's down to racial, or it could be anything really, most cases, because it all depends on the state. Like most states have this levels of thinking and certain ways of doing stuff. They will do anything to cover up a case, and this is one of them. I think there was another case that also was covered up as well. There's another case that was covered up as well. So, yeah. Oh, we ain't doing on Princess Anne, Dawn. We ain't hitting them people there, because they don't like it when people talk about them. Them people don't like it when people talk about them, because they're trying to keep people Robotnik and all that stuff. I know a lot about the Illuminati and stuff like that and how they work. It's not that it's unfair to talk about them. It's just that sometimes sometimes it's obvious what they're trying to do. Okay, but I'm not going to change the subject, but I will probably get back to this one. But if anything, I will see you in the next live. So with that said, thank you for coming through, Medusa and Don, and I do have another channel, but that's on a whole something else. Well, you don't need to review it here, but you should read. Okay, I'll read it. Okay. Yeah. So what I'll do, I'll see. Oh, gosh, I got a cough. Oh, pardon me. Excuse me. Right. I'll see what what was I going to say? I will see you in the comment section, and we will have a conversation. Okay. And with that said, I will see you later. Bye.